A dry, barren, impoverished land. With so few advantages, how did Spain become an empire? The Moors invaded in 711, and what was lost in 7 years took 700 to regain. The centuries of Reconquista produced a breed of soldiers, the Hidalgos, an estimated 300,000, largely impoverished nobles with a shared heritage of crusade and conquest. Like the nobility, they paid no tax, had privileges, and viewed bearing arms to be the only honourable profession. Spain achieved an empire because Castile had the zeal and fighting spirit to capitalise on Columbus's discovery. Three things happened in 1492. The Reconquista was completed, 150,000 Jews were expelled, and Columbus set sail. Isabella and Ferdinand united the crowns of Castile and Aragon. Frugal and industrious, they transformed the country. To cement an alliance against France, they married their daughter Joanna to Archduke Philip. A series of unforeseen deaths meant the Habsburgs inherited the throne. Charles V, on his first visit to Spain, loaded 300 horses and 80 mules with loot and had it transported to his palace in Ghent. He then used Spanish money and manpower to fight for his empire. The 80-year war with the Dutch crippled Spain. It cost 3 million ducats a year, a stalemate that caused the silver from America to slip through Spain's fingers. Charles V left the country penniless and burdened Philip II with commitments and wars which forced him into bankruptcy 4 times. Spain was never united. The regions recognised the king but kept their own laws, language and currency. The Inquisition had 20,000 spies and toured the country asking villagers to denounce each other. Imported books were banned and students couldn't study abroad. It delayed Spain's enlightenment. When Aragon acquired a trading empire in the 13th century, each new province had a parliament, councils and rights, and became part of a federation. By contrast, Castile ruled with a rod of iron. When American colonists planted vineyards and olive trees, Philip II had them destroyed. He demanded they purchase supplies from Castile. Seville had a monopoly on all trade with America. Castile's monopoly produced gross inefficiency, and when it could no longer cope with demand, imports from Europe were cheaper and better quality. By 1680, Castile's only export was wool. Aragon petitioned to be allowed to trade with the Americas but was refused each time. By the Treaty of Tordesillas, Pope Alexander VI divided the New World between Castile and Portugal. In 1580, Philip II successfully pressed his claim to the crown of Portugal, and his combined shipping fleet was now 300,000 tons. England had 42,000 and the Netherlands 235,000. Philip's advisors told him he could defeat England for 3.5 million ducats and that would be a cheap way to defeat the Dutch. The Armada was a disaster and cost 10 million ducats. The Spanish defeat triggered the immediate collapse of Basque supremacy over the Atlantic and the rise of English hegemony. The Armada was followed by plague and a 4th bankruptcy. Spain knew it was in decline, as symbolised by Cervantes' Don Quixote. Economist González Celerigo told Philip II there are no people of the middling sort. Nobles paid no tax and peasants were taxed to destitution. The wealthy eschewed agriculture and industry in favour of speculation and easy wealth from America. The Moors introduced merino sheep in 1300. They were the backbone of Spain's economy for centuries and an easily taxed resource. Philip decreed that any land that had ever been grazed could not be ploughed. It was a policy that failed to address Spain's endemic inability to feed itself. The northern ports united in the Hermandad Federation, which negotiated directly with the kings of England and France until 1490. The Basques specialised in deep-sea ocean fishing and shipbuilding. Spain was very divided. Rivalry paralysed the nation. An irrigation scheme in Catalonia was scuppered by merchants who imported grain from Sicily. Plans to make the Tagus River navigable for Toledo's silk industry were scuppered by Seville, who feared a challenge to its monopoly. Believing Catalonia to have a population 3 times its actual size, Philip IV made a huge tax demand, and in 1640 Catalonia declared independence, followed by Portugal. Who was to blame for Spain's decline? The Habsburgs, the nobility for opposing reform, the church for possessing more land than the king and an income of 6 million ducats, and for keeping the country backwards, the enmity between people in towns, religious orders, noble families and political factions. Spain was riven from top to bottom. The geographical weakness, too little rich farmland, poor transport, few navigable rivers.